A lot of people didn't react at first because we thought, oh, it must be firecrackers or something. I mean, nobody thought that it was dangerous. But then there was a second volley.
Then I had to really sit and think. Boom, they're shooting.
At the time, it's just like, just run. Like literally just run.
I was right there, and all the people were running away to the west.
Breaking at 11, a manhunt is underway right now after Seattle's first mass shooting in more than 6 years. Gunfire erupted in a crowded Seattle center during the Bite of Seattle earlier tonight. Good evening, all. I'm Michelle Esteban.
And I'm Preston Phillips. So police say they do have two people we just talked about a second ago who were shooting at each other. And here's what we know so far. 3 people are dead, 4 others injured, including a 2-year-old boy. Police say 1 person has been arrested in this shooting and at least 1 remains on the run tonight. They're still searching for that person. Tonight we have team coverage. KOMO's Lynn Ann Wynn, Tyler Cunnington standing by, but we begin with KOMO's Jeremy Harris, where officials just briefed the media. We just watched that here on KOMO. Nearly 4 hours, almost 5 hours after this shooting. Jeremy?
Well, and Preston and Michelle, coming out of that press conference, we are learning that an already tragic story has now gotten worse, with a 3rd victim passing away at Harborview Medical Center, now bringing that victim count up to 3 who have died. There were 4 taken to Harborview Medical Center. 1 of those was a victim in critical condition. And we also learned from this press conference that there was another person who was shot that actually walked into the University of Washington Hospital. So just a very dynamic scene in terms of the number of people who were shot. And the other big thing we learned from this press conference just now after 5 hours was that this was a shootout in the middle of the Bite of Seattle, and that is outrageous. This is a packed event with tens of thousands of people who are down here at Seattle Center, and these 2 people, at least 2 people, were apparently shooting at each other. We know Seattle police officers heroically are on scene and immediately run and engage the shooter, take that person into custody. Police are not giving us many details about that person other than to say that it's a young person. They won't confirm if it's a juvenile or an adult. We also know Seattle police officers were able to recover 2 guns at the scene as well. So now, as we're here going into the 11 o'clock hour, the scene is still locked down by Seattle police, and it's going to remain that way probably well into tomorrow, if not into Tuesday as well, as they begin to go through and comb through all of the evidence, make sure they have everything cataloged and really piece together with a fine-tooth comb everything here at the scene, and then start to work towards those critical questions. Was there another shooter, which it sounds like from what police told us there is still at least 1 person who's outstanding and got away from the scene. But also, what do we know about that person who was taken into police custody? What is their backstory? Was this some sort of a gang incident? Was this some sort of an altercation that escalated? But critically important here is the fact that if this was a shootout in such a crowded area, it makes sense that so many people were shot during that event, because close quarters, people standing close to each other, and then gunfire going off. It is not surprising that many people were hurt. So police are taking over tonight. Let's hear a little bit from Assistant Chief Tyrone Davis. Here's some of what he just told us.
We have witnesses. There are witnesses. They're not coming forward. We need people to be brave, to reach out to us. You can do so anonymously. We know that we have people who probably have evidence or have information that they can share with us. So please, come forward. You can call our hotline. It's 206-233-5000. We need information. We need help to solve this crime.
Now back out here at the scene tonight, the police are trying to push us back here because they're still trying to bring in some vehicles. In fact, we'll go ahead and go back a little bit farther. They're actually going to try and bring in a medical examiner's van right now, which is just tragic to think about, that still one of the deceased bodies that are here at the scene. So that's who's going to be coming through here, and we apologize for us. We're here live on TV, but police needed us to move out of the way quickly. This is the King County Medical Examiner's van. Again, a reminder of the somber toll that was taken down here by the fountain tonight, where we had 2 who died here apparently at the scene, and then a 3rd victim who was transported to Harborview Medical Center and passed away there. So as we come off here at the scene, again, investigators have a big job ahead of them, but that's the latest from that press conference with Seattle Police, the mayor, the governor, and Representative Jayapal.
Jeremy Harris live tonight from the Space Needle. They're just tragic in every sense of the word. All right, taking a live look at the Space Needle tonight. You can see the top of the Space Needle. That's where officials, they have lowered the flag, the American flag there on top, to half-staff because of the deadly shooting here this evening. Happened at 6:01 p.m. People running from the scene fled into the Space Needle lobby. and the building was placed on lockdown. After a few hours, it was evacuated by Seattle police.
This is video shared with us from a witness at the scene, and you can see the police response as a victim laid on the ground, the chaos unfolding as people tried to figure out what was going on. Obviously, a very chaotic and panicked scene during an annual family event at the Bite of Seattle. People just running for cover.
And thousands of people had to be evacuated when that shooting happened. It was chaos. From the Seattle Center to the Pacific Science Center to the Space Needle, all had to lock down and were evacuated. Our coverage continues with Tyler Cunnington, who joins us live from Seattle Center. Tyler, you've been out there for a while tonight. What have you been experiencing? What's it like out there now?
Well, Preston, it was a very active scene along Sue Bird Court. That's where we were stationed for the last 2 hours or so, but now it has since been opened up. You can see we're standing right here as it converges with Lenny Wilkinson, and this is really a straight look down, but I want to show you, just as we look off to the side here, all of the grounds basically blocked off from letting people enter. There's still Seattle police officers stationed here right now. You can see, if we zoom in a little bit, just all of those food vendors that were set up, all of their spaces just left as they were. Now, this was the third and final day of Bite of Seattle. However, everything here just sort of frozen in time. And if we kind of pan around here now to look down into the actual grounds itself, we can see the Welcome to Bite of Seattle sign that says free entry and the website, just kind of an eerie reminder of why we're even here today. And then this whole straightaway, just again, all these tents and vendors just left and abandoned from their spots when all of the chaos broke out. And really looking down this whole stretch, we had seen officers just before we went onto the air, still walking around and surveying. We saw, tripods of cameras taking pictures of the scene. I mean, that really looks right down towards the fountain itself, where we know that shooting and kind of near the armory took place. Here's just some of the video we have captured from over the course of the day. This is over here on Sue Bird Court. This is where we were. This was incredibly active. There were a ton of SPD SUVs as well as armored vehicles and officers and other people in tactical gear. You'll see just the needle right there. And as we pan down, that was the area of focus looking at the PACCAR IMAX building. We know from that press conference they said there was a particular area of interest on the grounds where there was sort of a sort of targeted response of some kind. We don't know if that's tied to whether there was a suspect. Again, we were told they don't believe, they say the grounds are secure, so we're not sure what all that attention was really for. But this area was where there were multiple armored vehicles, state patrol, rescue, four-wheel trucks that were rolled in here, and then this shortly cleared up, probably just about 30 or so minutes ago, and that is what allowed us to walk all the way right up here to this closed off, still part of the Seattle Center grounds. Just to recap, you heard just some of those people in our opening soundbites who we interviewed, people who were up in the Space Needle, who fled from the scene after hearing the gunshots, going inside, being told to hug against the wall for about 5 to 10 minutes before they sent them to the top of the Needle, away from the danger. The staff there at the Needle clearly acting very swiftly and with safety in mind, and just story after story, witness after witness, just describing the same thing: chaos, fear, and just total confusion about what happened here today at this annual summer tradition. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Horrifying. Tyler Cunnington live tonight at Seattle Center. Thank you, Tyler. Our crews were all over Seattle Center following that shooting. Witnesses described the chaos.
We were just, walking and looking for stuff to eat, and we just see a bunch of people just swarming through, and everyone's saying mass shooting. Not mass shooting, but like run, like someone's shooting, active shooter, and all we did was just follow the crowd. And we ended up here at the Space Needle, where we were trapped for 2 hours.
They literally were running for their lives. Tonight, King County Executive Gurmai Zahalai released the following statement shortly after the mass shooting at Seattle Center. Here it is. I am horrified by the shooting at Seattle Center this evening during the Bite of Seattle. As someone who grew up in this community, I know what this event means to so many families, young people, and neighbors across our region for years. The Bite of Seattle has been one of Seattle's signature summer traditions. To see violence at a place that brings so many people together is heartbreaking, and it's unacceptable. My heart is with the victims and their loved ones, those who were senselessly injured, Seattle Center employees and vendors, and everyone who has been traumatized by the experience. I am also grateful for the first responders who rushed in to protect others and care for the injured. We know several of the injured were immediately taken to Harborview Medical Center just moments after that shooting, including that 2-year-old boy we mentioned. KOMO's Lynanne Wynn has been at Harborview for us all night monitoring the situation. The hospital went into partial lockdown. She joins us now live with the latest updates. Lynanne.
Well, Michelle, we had been getting updates from hospital officials out here all night long. We had been hearing about one patient, a woman who was in surgery in critical condition, only to later learn that one patient did die here at the hospital, in addition to the 2 people who died at the scene. We also know that first responders found several others injured, including a 2-year-old child. According to Seattle Fire, one 40-year-old woman had minor injuries and declined to be taken to the hospital. Harborview officials tell us that 3 people are in satisfactory condition here at the hospital, including a 39-year-old woman, a 23-year-old man, and a 2-year-old child. Hospital officials say their injuries involve gunshot wounds to the leg, abdomen, and arm. We're told situations like what happened tonight, of course, are something that the staff here at Harborview are trained in and have regular drills throughout the year to prepare for.
It's a busy time for Harborview. It's the trauma center. It's the summer, so it's very busy. But you know, this is what we're meant to do. We're always ready because we're the level 1 trauma center. So if something like this happens, an unfortunate shooting, then we deliver, and that's what we did this evening.
And as we mentioned earlier, the hospital was put on a partial lockdown earlier this evening as the situation was still very fluid and officials were unsure if there could possibly be another shooter still on the loose. But I'm told that that lockdown was lifted around 9 o'clock tonight. Now, just to recap again, there are 3 people still at the hospital tonight, all in satisfactory condition, including the 2-year-old child who was injured. Reporting live in Seattle, Lynanne Wynn, KOMO News.
Lynanne, thanks very much. We are hearing from our local lawmakers in Washington, D.C. tonight. Senator Maria Cantwell posted on X, "This is a tragic situation. My heart goes out to the victims, their families, and all those affected. I am following developments closely. Thank you to all the first responders at the Seattle Center, Harborview, and everywhere else in the city."
And this wasn't just locals at the event tonight. A lot of people at Seattle Center for Buy to Seattle were visiting from out of town.
I want to try to buy to Seattle because I've never been to just now, and then like my first experience, I'm probably not coming back.
Stay with KOMO News Network as we track the new details of this mass shooting. We'll have updates on the air and online at KOMOnews.com. And tune in starting at 4:30 tomorrow morning for KOMO Morning News for up-to-the-minute details.